Daniel, you butterfingers, you shouldn't have deleted your re. Damn it. Now you're going to be committing yourself to having to refilm it, and you're going to be a busy man, so I can't wait to see how you're going to fit it in. Although I have a sinking suspicion you're quite capable at fitting it in. Well, yeah, doing the deaf thing wouldn't help because you need to have something that would cancel out noise all around you. Although you could always build yourself a home sensory deprivation tank and spend the full 24 hours in there and see if you go insane. Going blind would be a nice experience. I've done it before. I recommend it to anyone who wants to see how it feels to be blind. But it's not for the weak-minded, and for the I'm not finding the proper words, and I'm sorry. It's not scaredy cat, but people that have anxieties about doing something like that. The reason why is because if you do it around an area that you know by heart, it helps because that's how blind people actually navigate. They get to know their environment, and as long as nobody decides to play nasty tricks on them and start moving furniture around, or do changes that they're unaware of or not advised on roads, sidewalks, etc. Well, that said, the iPad is simply this. The iPad is an iTouch that comes in a phone version and a wireless version, or Wi-Fi version. It's not meant to be a home computer, or you can call me Betty Crocker. The reason why is because it's just a bigger version of an iPod, the iPod Touch to be specific, and the 3G phone that they have. So the benefit of actually using it is that you actually get to use it as a device to show more pictures, play music. It comes in the same formats as 16, 24, and 32 gigabytes. There's no video camera. It has a G4 processor inside, which means that it's super quick and efficient. It's just an extra toy to have around. If you've got the spare cash, go for it. If you don't have the spare cash, don't bother, because you're better off getting a laptop to be able to see it. Oh, and there's also the fact that they decided to specialize a YouTube player just for that will allow it to see high quality videos from YouTube. And it's set up specifically just for that particular one. There's the iPad apps that are going to be very, very interesting to see. It's just the price that I don't like. Justine was talking about it, and the first version of it, the 16 gigabyte, is $499 or $459. I know in Canadian it's going to come up to almost $530. So, I don't have that cash. It took me forever to be able to save just for an iTouch, and it took me even longer to save for my iMac. And before I buy myself an iPad, even as much as I'd like to have it, I'm just going to have to tighten my belt and say no. Because the interesting thing I enjoy about it is that you can read books on it. The electronic book formats that they're trying to get rolling downhill is slowly catching up. But so far, it's the only one, apart from the actual iBook readers that you can get, that have a bookshelf installed as part of a memory programming thing to save the actual books in their own shelves. Similar to you don't scroll, you see a bookshelf with the amount of titles on it. And it's actually beating some of the competition, because there's other gadgets that are trying to have a chunk of the market that the iPad is actually going to drown out slowly but surely. But even Mac heads, such as myself and other people that are even better than me when it comes to being Mac heads, fully sworn Mac heads are not really buying into it right now. In fact, they think it's a lot of hype for a lot of nothing. So we'll see. I mean, Steve Jobs seems to have been very interested in releasing it. He seemed to have actually put a lot of time into it. With a big smile, he unveiled it. The only thing that saddens me is that the name could have been better chosen. iPad. Well, I don't find that iPad isn't that bad, but when your mind is suddenly wondering, I checked Twitter just for the hell of checking what's new and what's hot and what's not, and I clicked on Canada to sync my Twitter to Canada because I wasn't synced in Canada. And I checked to see, as soon as you do that, it gives you the list of the current tweeting topics. The top one is the name of the iPad, and it's not just iPad. It's actually how do you call it? iTampon. Yeah, so you can call it iPad with wings, and I love that now with better memory leak protection. I really did. But I mean, Christ, they could have called it the iStylus. They could have called it the iFlight. They could have called it the I picture frame. They could have called it the I don't have an interesting name for this technology. But they chose iPod, not iPod, but iPad. They should have just called it an iPod XL for extra large. It's as simple as that. Oh well. Have a nice one again. Say hi to Elise.